My name's Mike Gaffin. I'm a Shell Super Rigs judge. I grew up in the trucking industry, but not only am I a judge, I'm a full-time trucker. I've been trucking since 1988 legally. Ran the road for 20 years. Got off the road when my kids were born. Been working local ever since, hauling gravel and heavy equipment around the Boston area. That's the Kenworth I drive. We're in the middle of a January thaw. It is dirty. I know there's a lot of excuses, but roads have been melting all day. Been with the Super Rigs crew since 2017. Very proud. Been judging for about 3 or 4 years now. Not only am I a full-time trucker and dad and husband, I'm also a truck show competitor. Been competing since the 90s. Back in the day, did all the big national shows, the Walcott, Vegas, Mats. Been there, done that. And I compete with this truck and the local shows now. So hey, I'll catch you down at the next Super Rig show. Bring your truck, come on, let's go, bring the family. Looking forward to meeting you. Boston Trucker here. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy it. We are back. It is a Monday morning, back to a full week of work. Finally. It's been a few weeks since I've driven this truck. Then I come in this morning and I was told to switch into the Western Star because they're going to service this truck. So I had hooked for my trailer. Went to get in the Western Star, and there's a few pickup trucks that are lined up behind it. Well, one of the pickup trucks, the keys were missing. So I am in this now for at least one trip while they figure out where the keys are. So probably when I get back, I'll swap out again. And then I'll be driving that for at least a day. I mean, the only thing they got to do to this is service it, and that's about it. They got to fix the upholstery. That one button that popped out like 6 months ago, it's kind of sitting in the hole right now. The backing broke, so they're going to fix that. And then I should be back in this truck the rest of the week full time. Glad I get to make a run in it. I felt I was a little sad this morning when I was told I was going in the other truck. At least I got one run in my truck. See if I remember how to do it. I remember how to shift gears and stuff. You know, it's been a couple weeks. You get a little rusty. Not really. That's what it's like riding a bike. You don't get rusty. Hope everybody had a good New Year's and good Christmas. New Year's. I left you last. I was in the triaxle and then in the six-wheeler, and that was on New Year's Eve, and we had our 2 hors d'oeuvres an hour New Year's Eve night, which went pretty swimmingly. Believe it or not, I ate too much. It's okay. It's okay. Went to the gym the next day. Been to the gym 2 or 3 times. Got on the scale this morning. I didn't gain any weight over the holidays. It's exactly the way I left it, so felt pretty good about that. Spent way too much time on the couch. It's very cold outside. Back is killing me from sitting on the couch so much. Watched a lot of movies, a lot of television, some YouTube. A lot of movies. Holy cow. Nothing really great. Haven't found any great movies to watch lately. Started a great series yesterday on Netflix called Runaway. It's a Harlan Coben film. Harlan Coben's a guy from England who writes these books, and he puts out amazing, they become amazing TV shows. Murder mystery type shows. So I watched Runaway, 4 episodes deep. Watched some more only for trucks on YouTube yesterday. Putting together his Mac. He found an old cab and and he's took that cab off, and he's getting at it. And I watched, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, another new channel. Well, it's a new channel to me, Austin Ferraro. Austin Ferraro drives for Lanita Specialized out of Pennsylvania. And I mean, they got some of the baddest, coolest old school rides in America. And I guess he's been making videos for a while. I'm just new to it, but he's been making trucking videos maybe a year. But I looked at his YouTube channel, it goes way back. Young trucker, I think he's 27, 28 years old, driving a badass Peterbilt. It's got 1 million miles on it, looks brand new, stretched out. Every company truck at Lanita is just better than the next, you know. And he's out there on the road with his young trucker buddies. It reminds me of me in the 90s. It's basically me in the 90s, but with a GoPro. Driving coast to coast, just trucking, driving that large car life, worried about keeping trucks clean and polished. And wait, I kind of like that now. Nah, ain't like that any. You think I am, but not like that I used to be. Holy cow. I mean, I didn't even get in this truck for 2 weeks. I got in it this morning, first time I started it. Started right up. But good channel, Austin Ferraro. Give him a follow and tell him I was talking about him on his channel. I don't know if he responds to comments. I've put a few on there so far. No response. Austin, respond to your people, buddy. It's a little tip from the Boston trucker. When you're a YouTuber, people take the time to comment on all social media, and I'm not perfect. I'm not. I'd say I get to about 90 to 95% of the comments. Sometimes it takes me a few days to a week. Sometimes try to give a response to everybody who writes to me, because you're taking the time to watch my videos. I really appreciate that. Really, because there's so many choices out there, so many great choices. I get lost on YouTube, not just trucking stuff. I like the guys who just travel around the world. I don't know how they afford it. Just going to different countries that are just like these poverty countries, and just eating street food and just meeting people and all around the world. And it's pretty interesting, and usually they get a pretty good response from the foreigners. You know, I like the ones where they're in Pakistan and India and in Africa and Japan, China, all those countries, Thailand, and they're out with the people. I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of what I do when we go on vacation. Like to be out with the people. I'm not a resort kind of person. We just booked our vacation, by the way. We're trying to stay a little more local this year, a little cheaper than our vacations are pretty expensive, so we can go a little cheaper this year. A little, actually, I mean a lot compared to normal, but you know, and if you're new to the channel, in the last 5 years we've been to London, we've been to Italy and Spain and Israel, and spent a week out doing a road trip last year in California. This year we're going to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I just rented a house right near the ocean. Pretty much, you can see the ocean. Rented a house in July. So we're going to be down in the Outer Banks for a week. And looking forward to that. More of a relaxing vacation. A little beach time, little pool time, and get out and see the sights. So looking forward to that. We're gonna fly into Raleigh-Durham on a Saturday, and then it's still a 3-hour plus drive to the Outer Banks. The closer airport is Norfolk, Virginia, which is about, I think, 2 hours away, but the flights only land at nighttime. And I was thinking, by the time I get to the airport, get our bags, get our car rental, if I'm on the road by 11:30 midnight, I'd be lucky. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather land in Raleigh-Durham in the morning, not have to be rushed, have a nice leisurely drive across I-40 and over to Outer Banks. So that's the plan. We're out here trucking. We're back doing what we're doing. Unfortunately, I'm not in my truck all week, but at least I got this one ride out to start, and we'll be back in it after they service it, so that's good. I'm at, I got 55,000 miles on the truck, so due for service. Nice and warm in here. It is 14 degrees outside. Man, it is cold every day, but we're getting a warm up this week. It's gonna hit in the 50s by the end of the week, so today's high at 22. But we're out here doing it, and we're heading east, and we'll check back with you a little bit. Me and Teddy getting loaded this morning. We got some fresh flurries and light snow last night. Everything's wet and salted. It's about 24 degrees out Fahrenheit. Roads are a little icy this morning. All right, I think we're only going to be in this truck 1 or 2 rounds this morning and then get back into my truck. You know, I have some positive things to say about this truck and some negative things to say. First, the positive. Legroom in this truck, stupendous. Very, very old school. Kick the leg out. You kick it under the dash if you want to put your cruise control on. Not that I ever do, but a lot of legroom. Lots and lots of legroom. I cannot find the interior lights button. This is where that wasn't supposed to happen like that. It's not supposed to happen. Oh, there's the button right there. I hate the wide cab of the Western Star. It's so ridiculously wide. The mirrors, yeah, I mean, you gotta turn your head way over there to look at your mirror. I don't know, I just don't like it. But I love the old school Western Star. Kind of stayed consecutive with their old school dashboard. This comes out a little bit of an angle. Like the old Western Stars or the old auto cars, the old whites, same dashboard. But I gotta tell you, this and this, just a horrible setup. You cannot take your eyes off the road. You have to take your eyes off the road to find any of these switches. Now I don't know if I drove this truck every day, maybe it would be more familiar to me. But every time I need to hit a switch, I gotta take my eyes off the road. Engine brake, cruise control. Like, why is cruise control here and not like on an end? You know, I don't like this setup. It's me personally. The lights are in the middle. I hate that all this stuff is down here. You can't even read this stuff. So every time I gotta drop my airbags and put my PTO on, I gotta bend over and look to see where everything is instead of just reaching for it. I don't know. And maybe I'm being a little picky. I like that it's got the old school hand valve, the old school signal lights. The wheel's got a nice tilt and telescope. CB radio's in a pretty good location. Stereo not in a good location because you got to look up to see the dial. Temperature gauge is way up here. I mean, like, why? But otherwise, it's a good truck. Transmission, Allison, not a fan. My personal choice. And I don't love that the PTO tower is so big and right here. Just, I like a little PT. Whatever. I'm just making content. Power-wise, this truck I think has a 505 horsepower Detroit. It's okay. It's not bad. I mean, it's not as, doesn't pull like my truck, which is a lot more horsepower. But when you're getting on the highway, it takes a little bit to get going. Once it gets going, it flies. So it's also got the good gas pedal, or throttle pedal, big pedal. But I hate these. I don't. You know, these old school air brakes. It's old school traditional, I guess. I shouldn't even complain, but whatever. A lot of space in here. You could put a board across the seat. You could actually sleep across the floor here, under the dashboard, if you wanted to, and you had a pillow. You could lay down, put your head in the corner there, and lay right across here if you need to take a nap. Let's say you were at a customer's loading dock or whatever, and you had to wait, you know, to get unloaded or loaded. I would do that. My Boston Bark plow truck was a 335 Peterbilt, and we'd be on standby sometimes, and I would sleep like that. I would go right across the floor. Oh, here's my other complaint about this truck. There's no storage in the driver's compartment. There's no storage up here. The storage is way over there. So if you have stuff, you have no place to put it except in the cup holders. You know, a pair of sunglasses. You get 2 cup holders, which is okay, but there's no place to put anything. You have to line it up on the window, which, you know, only a savage would do that. This is plastics. Anything you put on here will slide off. That's another big complaint. Where is the storage for the driver to put, you know, phone chargers and pens and, you know, trinkets, whatever keys, extra set, I don't know. It's kind of, it's not. Oh, my other complaint is these seats. I get all the air out. You can only drive this truck with the air out of the seat or you're too high. I get all the air out and I'm the perfect level. Put any air in the seat, I'm sitting up here. And the seat doesn't rock. There's no rocker in the seat. How did the seat come? Why would they even make a seat without rockers? That's travesty right there. You gotta have your seat rocking. We've talked about this before. If you're a driver that keeps your truck stationary and locked in with no rolling, you're messing up your back. And I know that's controversial, but I'm right. I'm not right about a lot of things, and I never claim to be right. You gotta be rocking. Now, I know it's a personal preference. I'm just telling you, for your body, you gotta be rocking. You wanna be going up and down and rolling with the truck. So you know, otherwise, if the truck is locked, if the seat is locked down, you're absorbing all the road bumps in your body. It's not what I think, it's what I know. But you tell me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you think I'm wrong, and that's okay. I've been wrong once before. Oh, get some weight put on this truck. Who's gonna send me out empty? I'm like, but we're loaded. Time to roll. Shut these lights off. I couldn't find the interior light button, so I just hit all the lights. gonna leave the Western Star here hooked up to my trailer and then get a ride with Teddy and go get my tractor. Nope. I gotta switch. I gotta hook up to that trailer when I come back.
Okay.
I'll do it when I get here.
Okay.
What's up? Did that radio work in that truck?
What radio?
The CB when I called you?
Yeah.
I was calling you when I was dumping. You didn't answer. I didn't know if you could hear me or not.
It's called Pedro's Kitchen in Alston on a short. They only opened a couple weeks ago, and the place is basically surrounded by a large apartment block. They are looking for a neighborhood or so. A little less glamorous than a prime location in the seaport. But you have to read.
What'd you do on the dashboard? What'd you just do? Is that the radio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got all the controls right here.
So you got stereo, all that stuff, huh?
Yeah. I can change the station, phone, cruise control.
Nice. How's the truck running?
Great. I started it Monday morning. The primary gauge wouldn't go up, so I scrolled down and I checked the pressures. Because I can check the pressures in the oil pressure and the temperature on the gauge, on the speedometer.
Yep.
I did all that and everything was fine.
Traffic don't look too bad going back east.
Yeah. It always changes.
What do you do with that?
I always turn it on. It's just my truck GPS.
Yeah, but that doesn't show traffic or anything, does it?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's like an old school GPS.
No, that's a newer one. My old one showed traffic.
Oh. How come we don't just use a phone app?
That's sitting right there.
You have a smartphone now?
Yeah, it's right there.
Let me see. Oh, look at that, huh?
Meantime, 24 south on the off-ramp to Route 140. Watch out for a work crew at the end of the ramp there. Extending the ramp from 24 south on to 140 south on in time. If you're having issues on the expressway, let's check out the Princeton Action 17.
My goodness, sir, we just got rid of that. Good morning, it's 8 o'clock here in Boston on this Tuesday morning, and we've got cloudy skies here in the city, and it looks like temperatures are actually going to be above freezing today. Right now, 26 here in Boston. Welcome aboard this morning. Drive to work, drive to school. I'm Jeff Brown. Together now.
I was thinking about it.
I know you were. I know you were.
I was thinking about it. Should I or should not? Nah, that's my one good deed for the month.
Winter warm-up is on the way as the January thaw actually begins tomorrow.
camera shy? Huh? We got Matt, the new mechanic, finishing up on the truck here. How you doing, Matt?
How you doing?
Good. We're gonna find out if Matt's camera shy. Get all that salty corrosion. Oh, it's terrible. And I got a bobtail out in the salt. It is winter time. It's gonna be even worse tomorrow. All right, she's all serviced, ready to go. Got the low bed hooked up to the western star, that way I don't have to drop this again. Just throw some salt on it. We're ready to roll. Right. Ice baby today. All icy out. It rained. It's 30 degrees. It rained all night. Teddy's been in the sand since 6 o'clock last night. We're gonna play with this later on this week. It's a new foamer I got. Looking forward to using it. All right, we're ready. We are loaded and ready to roll. Going to be supplying the materials yard all day, hauling out and hauling back. $30 degrees out, wet and icy. This thing's going to be a big salty mess by the end of the day, that's for sure. Sand, you got it. Hauling out mix, gonna come back with a load of sand. Well, Mike just showed up with the sander. Today I'm going to be trying this new foam cannon by Tool Daily. Got a little dirty today, a little salty. Be the perfect time to try out my new foam cannon I picked up on TikTok. I am not a TikToker who sells trinkets. I'm not selling these. I bought it and genuinely just trying it, not a sponsor, not getting paid. Let's go. That's it right there. It goes into the power washer. You can adjust the soap and the spray right here. I'm gonna put this tube on in this little soap container. Used to have those big containers. Now we get a little, what's that, about 8 ounces? Nice, let's put it together. This fits on there. Get it on there nice and tight. And that'll go in here once we put the soap in. All right, let's get some soap. Oh, it also comes with all these ends. Now, I meant to get a different foamer. There's another one they're selling that's got another piece that comes out for these that you can spray the water and the soap. You can go from soap to water by pushing a button. I bought the wrong one, but since I got this one and it was pretty cheap, I'm gonna try it out. If I like it, I'll keep running it. I might just buy the other one anyways. They're not really that expensive. Too much. Alright, I'm going to cut this back a little, see what happens. See if we save some soap. But before I had this all the way tightened, I'm cutting it back a little bit, see if I save some soap and still get a foam out of it. That's a good foam. I'm not lifting the hood now. I'll do it later. Pretty good foam. Let me go to the other side. That was 3 full containers of soap to do the truck and trailer. I don't know if that's good. Didn't seem great, but get it rinsed off. Stop with the roof. Well, there you go. That's took me about half an hour to wash. Touchless. That's pretty good. Let's see how it dries tomorrow morning. But just needed to get that salt off. Roads are probably going to be dry and dusty tomorrow, but not bad. but you're cleaner than the rest. All right, end of the day. Wanted to share this package I received in the mail. Comes from Peter Anderson, Havelock, North Havelock, New Zealand. New Zealand? Are you kidding me? Wow. Comes out a letter. Let's read. This was sent on December 16th. So, it's January 8th now, so do the math. It's a couple weeks. Hi Mike, I thought I'd send you some pictures of our modern American cab overs that we have down here in New Zealand. By the way, I do watch on YouTube some New Zealand truckers down there. Don't know their names. One guy's got a silver cab over Kenworth Aerodyne I really like. Great videos. Awesome trucks. New Zealand and Australia, some of the best trucks in the world. There was a transport firm. Everybody calm down. There was a transport firm local to where I live that has an awesome fleet of Kenworth, Freightliner, and International stock truck and trailer. Really? Can you include International with awesome trucks? Of course you can. I like Internationals. Stock truck and trailer units, and I was hoping they had a calendar I could send you, but as they didn't, my daughter put one together with pictures, awesome, of trucks she knows. Also, the photos I have included are of Stevenson Transport Depot, the company I mentioned above, with some of their units, but of course they are never all together at one time. Regards, Peter Anderson. P.S. Love your weekly videos. Thank you, Peter. Let's check this out together. Whoa, we got a full package of stuff here. Let's go right from the top. Oh, wow. Look at these Freightliner Argosies. That's pretty nice. It's a nice looking fleet. It's like a brown and a maroon color. Nice. I haven't got a package in a long time. This is really exciting for the holidays. Whoa. Oh, so that's an International. Wow. International makes a cab over still. Look at that, and a nice Kenworth. These are really great. Thank you, Peter. These are fantastic. And they got Cummins in them. Stevenson Transport. I'm going to have to look them up online. And we got a calendar here. Very nice. 2019 International. See, I would never know that was an International except for the logo, and then it says right there 9870. 2021 Kenworth K200. These are numbers we don't know in America, so it's pretty cool. 2008 Kenworth K108. 108. K220. It's a new one. Look at all the wheels on that thing. Log hauler. 2024 K200. I would come there and drive one of these. Send me an invite. I'm coming. Ooh, look at this old school paint job. Love this. 2017 K200 flat roof. We call them flat tops here. K200 2021. Man, they got some pride down there in New Zealand and Australia. K200, K104. We're in September. Uh-oh, I need more fingers. K220. Wow, nice. Wow. K200, K104. Cool. But wait, there's more. Oh, there's a lot more. Oh, we got another calendar, but wait. The PS de Resistance is in the... Wow. It's coming up. VR Southerly Limited. Another calendar. Look at that long hood. Boy, that looks like an A model. Holy cow. With one of them thingies in the back. Oshkosh, right? Wow. All right. January is gone. I don't know, there's a line in it. Look at that heavy haul. Wow. That looks like a John Kelly deal. Look at those hoods. I think you guys can see this. Oh, look at that Mack. This one doesn't tell you what the kind of truck it is, so you have to... I wonder why he's got these crossed out. Maybe I'll find out. Nice. Man. They got some nice rides down there. That part of the world. Hold on. It's taking a while. This is live here, you know, it's not editing. Nice. Shoot. All right, I gotta get back. July, look at that. You see that? Can you see that? I'll look and make sure you guys can. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. You know, I've said this before, I was kind of an American truck snob. Right up till maybe 10 years ago. And then I started watching shows like Heavy Haulage, the John Kelly Show, and Outback Truckers. And then, you know, I know that's Australia, not New Zealand. And that's when I started coming around to, you know what, there are other trucks all over the world. Europe, England, Craig Butterfield, you know, nice trucks. Truckers that take pride in their rides all over the world. Not just in America. You go to New Zealand, you go to Australia. I was in Italy. Man, I've seen some nice trucks in Italy. I was in Spain. Nice trucks. I was in Israel. And I didn't see so many nice trucks. There's a few, but not so many. Not where I was, but all over the world. Look at this guy. Happy holiday from the team at BR Satherley. What's up, BR Satherley? Got one more. Boy, is this crazy how much stuff you sent me, dude. Hope you see this video. Oh, we got a New Zealand trucking magazine. Do you know, this reminds me, I did an interview for New Zealand Trucking Magazine last year at the Mid-America Truck Show in Matt's. It was an in-person interview with one of their writers, and he recorded me. I don't know whatever happened to that. I never heard anything after that. Wow, this is a nice magazine. Very high glossy pictures. We got a spread. Awesome. I wonder if a few people at home are enjoying this segment of my video. Or some of you guys, American truck snobs, are like, who cares? I'm gonna find something good to show you, then I'm gonna yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? I love that. I love that. This is great. What a nice boy. They dress so much different on that part of the world. Truckers. Trekkies. Ain't truckers. Wow, so much to this magazine. Globetrotting. Wow. Ooh, we got a sexy spread here. Look at that. I'm into trucks, so this is cool. I'm gonna read this whole magazine. This is gonna be some good bathroom reading. Wow, look at this. Hold on, I'm gonna show you a second. Look at this. I mean, I'm not a Mac guy, but you know, old Superliner. Oh, not a Mac guy. Thinking McCungy's coming up in 6 months. I'm not sure if I was thinking I was gonna make McCungy. Now I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna make McCungy. I don't know. Oh, but I did hear today that I am invited once again back to the Mid-America Truck Show with the Shell Rotella group. So you can find me there March 26th, 27th at the Shell Rotella booth, the Mid-America Truck Show. And I'll be there on Saturday the 28th on my own. And I'll be judging once again Shell Super Rigs this year. I can say this year now because it's 2026. Bristol Motor Speedway, June 26th, 27th, 28th, I believe. There'll be more information about that. Anyways, thank you so much, Peter Anderson. Thank you for thinking of me. Sent that across the world to me. I can't imagine what that cost. If you're gonna send me something, which it's crazy that people send me stuff. I mean, I love it. You don't need to send me anything, number one. Number two, I don't want your money. And number three, don't spend too much money when you send me something. I feel bad. If you want to send me a baseball cap with a truck on it, that's cool. I do like trucker hats with trucks on them. I will wear it in my video, but don't spend a lot of money. You know, shipping, don't do any fancy overnight shipping. You know, it's cool. All right, I still gotta work tomorrow. Today's Thursday. We're gonna go home. I gave the truck a hot water rinse, did not wash it. The roads are gonna be wet and saturated again tomorrow. We'll get it properly washed probably tomorrow night. See you tomorrow. something I haven't seen in a long time. It triggered some memories. I just saw 2 Stevens transport trucks running together going down 95, and I was like, wow, just don't see that anymore. Company drivers running together. I mean, not where I run anyways. You know, maybe across country you see that, but boy, I haven't seen 2 trucks running together from the same company, and I can't remember when in years. And I was just thinking, man, that's just how it was back in the day, you know? I mean, I always kind of preferred to run by myself because I could run on my own schedule and not have to worry about adjusting my time for other people. And especially because my bladder doesn't hold out for hours at a time, never has. I've always had well, back in the day I could go probably 2 hours without having to stop and relieve myself. Now it's an hour really, 2 hours sometimes. But man, running together, that was just so much fun back in the day. It would be a great way of, the miles would just go by a lot faster. You know, you load up somewhere and you run all night and you get to the truck stop and go to bed for a few hours. You wake up in the morning and you look around and you might see a fellow driver from your company, and you go in the truck stop and look for that familiar face, or not even familiar face. You might just be wearing the company jacket or company hat. And you go, hey, which way you going? Where you going? You want to run? What time you want to go? And you just run together, and it could be somebody who you knew, or it could be somebody you just met, and you know, you might only see that person one time in your whole life, and you run together all day and exchange phone numbers. There was no internet back there, and exchange phone numbers, no cell phones, home phone numbers. When we used to have home phone numbers. Anybody have a home phone number anymore? I don't. We shut that off years ago. And some of these people, you'd be friends for life. Now, I have at home a small little address book, but I would write down people's their name. A lot of times I didn't know their last name. I would write down their name. Let's say Joe, truck number. Usually people that I worked with, like at Bud Meyer, I'd write Joe, truck number 1178, phone number. Or it might be a distinguishing characteristic of that person. Like it could be Dan, handlebar mustache, truck number, phone number, and where they lived, and you might call them when you're in the area, see if they're home, because you never knew when anybody was home. And a lot of memories, a lot of good memories running with people and friends and strangers who became friends, and you know, running all day, and you'd get to know how that person drives, and you were kind of like, they were like your wingman, you know, adjusting their speed and the way they drive for you. You know, if they were behind you and they see you were catching up with some slower traffic, they get out there in the left lane and call you on the radio, hey, bring it over, or you know, when you get by that truck, come on over, or you know, and then you see other drivers from the same company going the other direction. They give you a road report. Hey, you're looking good the other way. You're looking good over Shaky. You know, chains are up, or you know, I was gonna say the roads are closed. Back in the day, they didn't close the roads, and not like they do in Wyoming now for a little bit of wind, a little bit of snow. The roads are always open, and yeah, it was just a whole nother time of camaraderie. And no matter what truck stop you went to, there was a lot of good chances you'd run into somebody you know, or you've seen before. And like, I ran a lot across, when I would run to LA out of Minnesota, I'd go a few different ways. Either I'd run across 90, across lower half of Minnesota, South Dakota and drop down at Kadoka, drop down the Badlands, over to Lusk, down to Casper, down to Rollins, across 80 over to drop down to Provo Canyon, down 15 to Vegas, to Barstow, to LA. Sometimes in the wintertime, I try to get as far south as I can and try and beat some weather. Yeah, I would try and drop down south, down to 40. I'd run down 35 out of Albert Lee, Minnesota, down to Des Moines, Iowa. 35 down to 35 down to, my mind is going, Emporia, Kansas. Get on 54 over to 50. And that was a big meat hauling route back in the day. Meat hauling, it still is, for sure. Meat hauling and bull hauling. 50 was, you know, that's where national carriers were. Nasty Critters was one of their nicknames. Liberal, Kansas. Big meat plants over there, big cow pens. And I would run 54 from Emporia down to Newton, Kansas, and then over to 54 all the way across through Kansas, which was mostly a 2-lane road. It was kind of boring. It was 55 across most of it until you got to the small towns. And you go through Dodge, the famous Dodge City, which, I mean, you know, I wish I checked out Dodge City besides driving through it. Dodge City, Liberal, into Oklahoma, Guyman, Oklahoma, Dalhart, Texas, across 54, the Panhandle, over to a place in New Mexico that only truckers know how to pronounce. It's called Tucumcari. Stop over there at the Shell truck stop. Get some tacos. Get on a 40 there. Bubba Highway, Chicken Highway, Chicken Truck Road there. Get on 40 and haul tail to the Gold Coast. And you get out there to Barstow and get your truck prepped and pimped and you get your truck right, you know, looking right. Drop down to LA, make your delivery, and you either had a back haul the same day, or maybe you had to wait a day. So you go over to the TA in Ontario, TA East, on Milliken Boulevard there, and Milliken Road. And every company seemed to have their own area where they parked. Now we parked in the back row by the TA sign along I-10. We called that Bud Meyer Row. And we would just line up our trucks there. And these sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 trucks. Now, sometimes you'd walk around the truck stop. It was a huge truck stop. And you'd see another Bud Meyer driver parked far away. Those drivers were considered non-social drivers. They just wanted to be left alone. They didn't want to make friends. They were kind of hiding out. And that was always a little weird. But most of us had this great camaraderie. We'd go in the truck stop, sit in the booths, put our arms over the booths, kick back and just talk trucks and trucking and trucker stories. And you know, back those days, you know, there was no playing on your telephone. You'd back into the truck stop, and it could be any truck stop, weary from the road, and what do? You sit in the truck, and you just sit there and watch trucks go back and forth in the parking lot, watching trucks back into spots, until you were passing out, and then you get in the bunk, if you made it to the bunk, and just pass out, you know. That's what I did back in the day. It's a waste of my time and my life, but just watching trucks go back and forth. Sometimes you watch lot lizards go from truck to truck to truck. You know, it was a different time. It was a different land. You did what you made. Crazy times, man. Yeah, and I had a television and a VCR, a one-piece television VCR in the corner, and I would leave the house with about 20 VCR tapes that I tape movies on. So if I was home for a couple of days, I would just tape movies. I would schedule my TV at home to tape movies that I wanted to watch, and I would bring them on the road with me. And yeah, it was a good life. It was a good life. Met some cool people. I was also thinking about running together. What's your responsibility for the driver behind you? And I was just thinking about running Highway 54. A couple times, almost got in some trouble. I was running across 54 with a guy named Mike Pesha once. Mike Pesha is kind of like a mentor to me at Land Transport out of Framingham. You know, back in those days, I was very young. I was a very young over-the-road trucker. Since I started running over the road, you know, when I was 18, 19 years old. But I was very mature. I was the same then as I am now, I believe. And I became friends with a lot of older drivers who never cut me down or talked down to me, or there was none of that. I must have gained their respect because I could see I could handle the job. And I became friends with these older drivers, and these were guys I looked up to. Mike Pesha was one of them. He was like #1 company driver at Land Transport. Mike was probably 15, 20 years older than I was. And he was at Land for, I don't know, 10, 20 years. And I went over to Bud Meyer in '92, and Mike came over with me. I mean, I brought him over. I had been there a couple years. Recruited Mike. I recruited a few drivers from Land. One of them was Mike Pesha. One of them was David Nye. And one of them was John Daniels. 3 great guys. 3 guys I was really great friends with back in those days. I brought Mike Pesha over here. He came over to Bud Meyer. I was driving Black Mac. They gave him a brand new T600 flat top. Those had, I think they had 10 speeds with Detroits in them. You know, if you looked at a picture of one of those now, I'll include some pictures here if I remember. You go, oh, that's a badass truck. But they were fleet trucks. You know, they were 60-inch flat top bunks. You know, they were nice trucks. I mean, Bud Meyer, you know, they bought the nice trucks, but that was the nicest truck he had ever driven, because he had never driven anything bigger than a single bunk truck before. Mike was so happy at Bud Meyer. Well, one night we're driving across, we're on 54 West. Now back in those days, you had to get out and pass slower trucks on the 2-lane. You'd have to get on the opposite side of the highway to go around those trucks. You have to wait for the dotted lines and pass. And that was, you know, if you go from one stretch to the other side, you might pass, you know, 5, 6 trucks across that road there, you know, on one run. So I'm out front, coming up on a slow truck. I go around the slow truck. Now you gotta let the driver know behind you if anybody's coming towards you. So you get on the radio and go, all right, it's looking clear, it's looking clear. Mike gets out to pass this truck, and our trucks were governed. They were governed at like 68. And I go, Mike, I'm starting to see some lights coming towards me, and he's having a hard time getting around his truck, and his truck's racing him now. I go, Mike, truck's coming up about a half a mile. Mike, and he's out in the left lane. He's stuck out in the left lane trying to get around this guy. And here comes this bull rack coming towards me at a high rate of speed. And I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna have a head-on collision here. And he just got over in front of that other guy. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of responsibility on the front driver. You know, and I got in trouble for that one time. One time I got talked to by safety at Bud Meyer. It's coming out of Rochester, Minnesota, going up 52 towards Lake City. Me and a guy named Johnny Mantlow. Johnny Mantlow was from Texas. We weren't friends. I'm pretty sure he didn't really like me. I didn't really like him that much. We were kind of just like, I won't say I didn't like him, but we were just different. We were just 2 different kind of people. He was like this Texas guy with a cowboy hat. I remembered he had a giant gorilla stuffed doll in his passenger seat. Anyway, me and Johnny are coming out of the truck stop in Rochester, heading up 52. We get out of the city, and there's a combine coming. There's a combine going our direction. I go around the combine, and I'm now telling Johnny how it's looking. And kind of the same situation. Truck starts coming, and it was a close call. And I think the combine driver called our company, and I got brought into the safety office. Jim Walker was a safety guy, a great guy, and he asked me what happened, and I was like, kind of dumbfounded, like, whoa, somebody called? He's like, yeah. And I had to switch cameras. The other camera died. Jim Walker said, you're responsible. If you tell a driver the coast is clear and somebody comes out of nowhere and something happens, you're as responsible, being the guide, as the guy who got out and passed. And I never forgot that. And I never did it again either. And it's the same with if somebody's backing up into a parking spot or a loading dock and you get out to spot them, or at a truck stop, you are also responsible as a spotter if something happens. Not fully responsible, but you share some blame in that. You know, when I used to go to a truck stop, first of all, I'm excellent at backing up a truck, especially back in the day. I don't get a lot of practice doing that now. I don't do any docking or backing in truck stops anymore, but back in the day, I took a lot of pride in backing up. Nothing made me more happier than pulling into a truck stop with my 379 Pete, my 53-foot reefer, being young looking professional, finding a parking spot, and backing that truck right in. And I had a technique that I used. You know, I drive along the row, go out, start backing in, and if it was a heavier load and I had my wheels up on the trailer, let's say, stop right before the hole. I get the end of my trailer right before the spot. I get out, I pull the pin on the trailer, pull the handbrake, release the hand valves, slide my wheels back, don't lock it in, handbrake up, right into that parking spot, slide the wheels back up wherever they were. You gotta remember what hole you were in, lock it down, one shot, every time. Took a lot of pride in backing in truck stop parking lot spaces back in the day. Nice and straight. You gotta be straight between the lines at each side. Anyways, I don't like spotters. If somebody gets out to spot you out of their, goodness of their heart, you're still responsible. So, just because they tell you you got your tractor jacked and you can't see the truck on your right side and you can't see that truck's mirrors, this guy's telling you to keep going, you're responsible. That spotter will disappear on you. So you got to get out and look, is what I'm saying. I don't care if the spotter tells you it's good. I get out, I set the brakes, walk around, get out and look. That's driver responsibility. So yeah, it was a lot of good times back in the day. There's this one time, this one I gotta remember to put pictures. Me and my one of my best friends, Ed Torvin, right? We met up at Barstow, Rip Griffin's. We go get our trucks washed. We went across the street to Rip Griffin's, which now I think is Big Bear. Is it Big Bear? Is that a TA maybe? I don't even know. Parking a lot. We go outside. We're polishing our own trucks. Polishing. Then we do like a photo shoot of the two trucks together, and then me posing by my truck, him posing by his truck, and Ed's looking at my truck. Back then we ran stock bumpers, He looks at one of my bolts. Looked like it was tightened down a little too much, and it's tweaked a little bit. He makes a joke and he goes, "You're gonna need a new bumper, I guess, huh?" And I go, "Yeah, ha ha ha, I know, right?" And then I head south on 15 that night because I'm going down to LA to drop it over by Knott's Berry Farms, and he's heading out across. Man, what's the name of that road? shoot. Lenwood Road. I got it. Lenwood Road out of Boston, heading west towards 58 towards Tehachapi, the Bakersfield. He's heading out there to Modesto. I get over to TA that night in Ontario and got fuel and was going to take a nap, and there were no parking spots. I was really tired, and I did the worst thing I could do was park on an end spot. It's only going to be for a couple hours. It was a legitimate parking spot. It was on the end, you know, and I was sleeping about an hour. I was parked next to, I happened to be next to another Bud Meyer driver, a guy named Jonesy, another old timer. He was also driving a 379 like my truck. And freaking Interstate Distributors truck out of Oregon. Guy came in, right on the end, and there was an empty parking spot in front of me. I have pictures of this. Empty spot in front of me. He zigzagged into that spot. Didn't even realize he hit me. And he tore off my fender and my air cleaner. My headlights were on the ground. I thought it was an earthquake. I had been in the earthquake a year earlier. And I banged on Jonesy's door. I think I needed help. I go, hey man, guy just hit me. I gotta go wake him up. I need backup. I don't know, he was gonna shoot me. I banged on the guy's door. He had just gone into the bunk, so he hit me, parked, set his brakes. I got dressed. I got Jonesy. It was about 5 minutes since the hit. I bang on his door. He had just got in the bunk and he was going to sleep. I'm like, hey dude, you just hit my truck. And he's like, are you serious? I go, yeah, you just took off the nose on my truck. And he came outside. He didn't deny it. He just didn't realize he did it. He was so tired he didn't realize he did it. And ended up repowering the load. I was able to bobtail the Peterbilt in Fontana, the next town over, and left the truck there for 5 days. Talked the company into letting me rent a car under their bill. I said, I need to rent a car. Now, I should have just rented like a little car, which would have been the cheapest. I don't know what I was thinking. Decided to rent a Cadillac with a North Star engine. You know what? I've told the story before. Anyways, maybe you're new here. I rented a big white pearl Cadillac. I got pictures of that too. And instead of doing touristy stuff like you would probably do now, I went to the truck stop every night and I'd pick up whatever Bud Meyer drivers were there hanging out on layover, and we would go out for steak. We'd go to get some steak, and we'd go to the adult clubs, Ruth's Chris. We'd go to Ruth's Chris or an adult establishment, and I got a hotel. I guess I got a hotel. I don't even remember. So long ago. Must have got a hotel in Fontana. And yeah, the truck was ready in a week. Drove back to Minnesota. They restriped the hood, and I was back to business. But man, trucking, man, those are some good times. But you know, this is good times too. You know, I missed a lot out on life. It was a different life, and that's all I knew. I didn't know I was going to be. Never pictured this would be my life. Never pictured day cab dump truck driver. Are you kidding me? Who the hell am I? That's crazy. I was a road guy for life. Coast to coast, clean trucks, polished trucks. Oh, it's gonna rain. Pull over, take a nap if I could. Keep a truck clean. Pay for truck washers out of my own pocket twice a month. They paid for 2 a month. I'd pay for 2 or 3 a month. Whatever was needed to keep my truck clean. Snowstorms, run of the Northwest, chains, trucks, women. You know, like BJ and the Bear, the song BJ and the Bear. The women keep improving in the song. It was my life. Looking for the next girlfriend, and the next girlfriend, temporary girlfriend. Spent a lot of money on dumb stuff, and Now look at me, I'm a responsible adult. I almost said young adult. I'm not a young anymore. Responsible adult. And I'll say one last thing. I've talked about money before. The smartest thing I ever did, besides marry my wife, is she'll only watch this after I die. I told my wife, because my family don't watch my videos. I go, you know what? After I die, they'll watch all my videos someday. But smartest thing I ever did in 1992, 93, Bud Meyer started a 401k plan, which I didn't have any idea what it is. And they were like, oh, you just save, put a percentage of your money in here. Every week comes out of your check and just forget about it and never look at it. Started a 401k in the 90s. And then rolled it over to when I went to work for Walmart. And then I went back to Bud Meyer a few more years. So I got bought out, rolled it over again. And then it sat there making money for a few years. Then I went to New Century for 8 years. 401k there for 8 years. Then I had a 401k at Boston Bark, Ken Salad Dressing. And we didn't have one here till about 5 years ago. 401k, IRAs, Roth IRAs, I don't know anything about finances and financial stuff. I know I just have them. Smarter people than me are running them or help me with them. And that stuff adds up, and I'll tell you what, when I talk about maybe retiring in 10 years when I'm 65 or 9 years, that money's adding up. And if you got a chance to get in a 401k and you can sock away as much as you can in there, my rule is I put 10% in every week. That way I know how much is coming out because I'm not good at math. So if I make, say, $1,500 for that week, I know it's $150 coming out. And I forget about it. So please, get your 401k. If your company matches, that's free money. So these guys don't match yet. It's gonna happen though. I asked Anthony a year ago, hey, I know you talked about matching the 401ks, and when do you think that's gonna happen? And he had a very smart Anthony comment. He says, you're driving your match. That new truck is your match. I had to buy you a new truck. So I'll take it. But anyways, that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Tell your friends, share my content. And just remember, I'm a trucker, just like the rest of y'all. I'm not just a trucker. Just a trucker with a camera. That's the only difference. I got a camera and I make videos. But, hey, see you next week.